What's up, Dynasty Tribe? Welcome to another episode of Hollywood Decoded podcast. My name is Seer. If you're new here, I welcome you to look at our welcome video as well as look at the videos and our content on our channel here on YouTube as well as TikTok to see exactly what we do. I'm not going to go too deep into that because I don't want to belabor the time. This is going to be a multi-episode breakdown. So we're going to be decoding the movie Babylon. We're going to be decoding the movie Babylon. Now, I'm going to warn you, this is a spoiler alert. So if you haven't seen the movie, you plan on seeing the movie, you might want to go watch the movie first. If you're not tripping, I'm going to be playing some scenes from the movie, and then I'm going to break down the symbolism throughout. Again, this is going to be a multi episode, I know, because there's so many intricate details of symbolism and signs and signals inside of this film. Also, there's things that I'm not going to be able to say on mainstream platforms such as YouTube, TikTok, etc. So if you want to see the uncensored version, that's going to be on the Patreon. So feel free to go on Patreon, take a look, and see the uncensored version of these episodes. But today we're going to be breaking down and decoding the movie Babylon. The movie Babylon is a very symbolic movie about the underworld of Hollywood. It's set in the 1920s, and there's three dimensions. There's three dimensions in which you could look at this movie. You could look at it just as a good movie about Hollywood, about artists trying to become famous and trying to make it in Hollywood. That's a layer. You can also look at it from a perspective of the human struggle. That's a layer as well, as far as, things that are going on in their lives, trying to overcome circumstances, issues, trying to find themselves. That's a layer. And then there's the spiritual, esoteric, hidden, mysterious layer that is underneath this entire presentation. And that's what we're going to go deep into. That's what we're going to focus on in this actual episode of Hollywood Decoded podcast. Now, listen, this is going to be key because this episode is going to be a foundation of you understanding that, first of all, Hollywood puts inside of their films and inside of their movies and inside of music symbols, codes of things that are happening in reality. It's a spiritual principle that they have to follow in order to not to experience consequences of the things that the system itself is doing, not necessarily just in Hollywood, but on the political side, on the finance side, the cultural side. And Hollywood is the church, if you will. It is the temple of what we call magic, is the temple of magic, a temple of magic and sorcery. Now, I'm not demonizing magic. I love the illusion world. I love the magic world. It's fun. It's amazing. But what I'm saying is that there is a difference, and I'm going to show you the difference between spirituality, spiritual power, and magic. And it's in the actual ancient text that we call the Bible. It shows you that difference with a character called Simon Magus. So Simon the magician versus Philip the apostle. So I'll talk about that later. The point is that today we're going to be breaking down this very powerful, important movie. Now listen, it was not on accident that this movie was not really promoted. This movie was not really, pushed like that. And that's on purpose. When I show you what is in this movie, the symbolism that's in this movie, you're going to understand why. And the first thing we're going to establish is that, and I've shown this video in a couple of other pieces of content that I've done, and I do it whenever I'm breaking something down in the Hollywood art piece, or as it relates to something that's happening in Hollywood with the artists, etc. So I always point to this because it actually admits what they do in Hollywood. It actually admits how they operate. And what Hollywood does is what governments have done since the beginning of time, all the way back to ancient Kemet, all the way back to Sumeria. They hide the truths in plain sight. And how they do that is they put it in the art. That's what hieroglyphics are. They put it in the art. They put very powerful, important information in art. And they code it. They put it in code in the art. And that's what Hollywood is doing. That's what Hollywood has been doing from the beginning. So I'm going to show you this short clip that is not the actual Babylon movie yet, just to set a context so you can understand the premise and the foundation of how Hollywood works before we go into breaking down the movie Babylon. Check this out.
In the codes and the music. I found the tunnels and the bomb shelter.
Okay.
So what does it all mean?
I don't always worry what the message is. I just pass it along. I slip it between the notes, hide it away from people that know it's there.
You're saying you've done this before? Codes? You're telling me there's hidden messages in old pop songs?
Movies, television shows, everything you know.
All right. So as you can see, first of all, that movie is called, and I'll probably do a decoding of that movie as well in the future, probably, but it's called Under the Silver Lake. Now listen, again, understand that everything in Hollywood is symbolism. Nothing is as it seems. What is a silver lake? Right? As far as we know, we don't know anything about a silver lake. The silver lake is the silver screen. That character just told you, in your music, in your movies, in your shows, there are codes. There are codes hidden in them. These codes are used for different things. Sometimes they're used for psychosis. Sometimes they're used to make you susceptible to messages and to keep you in a mindset or in a belief system that might be contrary to the truth. There are different levels to this, but we're going to keep it on the decoding of the spiritual level and spiritual warfare. Now, remember, we don't have to do or deal with conspiracies. All we have to do is connect the dots because we're operating in our divine identity and in spiritual warfare. So now we're going to go into this movie, Babylon. Now, but it starts off with an elephant, right? It starts off with an elephant being pushed up a hill. That elephant is representing a message, the message that is going to be hidden within the entire film.
Holy shit, is that a fucking elephant?
Señor, probablemente hubo some kind of bad communication.
Bad communicate. This is a truck for fucking horses, man. What do I look like, a goddamn Maharaja?
And you're invited to a party.
And eventually, that elephant ends up in the room, disturbing the party. That party is representing the system of Hollywood. We're talking about the elephant in the room. Now, we're going to look at this opening scene of this party, right? This is technically Act 2. Opening scene, you have the opening scene with the elephant, then it comes to this party, this Hollywood party. This is all set in the 1920s. This Hollywood party that has so much symbolism in it that if you didn't know what you were looking at, if you weren't paying attention, you would totally go over your head. Nellie Leroy is one of the main characters. One of the main characters in this movie, Nellie Leroy, who on the surface is an artist and actress trying to make it in Hollywood. But the reality is that Nellie Leroy represents Hollywood itself. Her character is a symbol that represents Hollywood itself, and it's directly connected to the book of Revelation. And I'm about to show you and read it for you right now. This is Revelation 17, and I'm gonna get back to the actual movie. Revelation 17:3. This is what it says. This is what John the Apostle says when he was on the Isle of Patmos. Then the angel, he's in a trance. He's seeing a vision. Then the angel carried me away in the spirit into the wilderness. There I saw a woman sitting on a scarlet beast. Scarlet is the color red. Beast in the Bible represents a system or a government. So she was sitting on a scarlet beast. This is very important. That was covered with blasphemous names and had 7 heads and 10 horns. Those 7 heads and 10 horns are kingdoms and kings. The heads are kingdoms, the horns are kings. The woman was dressed in purple, that represents royalty, and scarlet. So she's wearing red. Okay, so she's wearing red and scarlet, okay, and was glittering with gold, precious stones, and pearls. So understand that she has control of wealth. She held a golden cup in her hand filled with abominable things and the filth of her adulteries. Now that word adulteries is not about, it is a symbolic word. This is not about a person cheating on their husband or cheating on their wife. These are spiritual hidden words that you have to understand how to decode. The name written on the forehead was a mystery. So it's telling you that there's something written on this woman's forehead, but it's not as it seems. It's more than what it seems. It's the words themselves are not the only thing you need to understand this vision. You've got to understand what's behind the words. So it says the name written on her forehead was a mystery. Mystery means secret. That secret those secret words were Babylon the Great. What's the name of the movie? Babylon. Babylon the Great, the mother of prostitutes and the abominations of the earth. Again, this is a mysterious, esoteric meaning behind words. You have to decode the Bible. It's not as it seems. You have to understand what's being said behind it. All right. And the final verse says, that I'm going to read, it says, I saw that the woman was drunk with the blood of God's people and the blood of those who bore the testimony of Yeshua. Right? Testimony is a legal word of Yeshua. Okay. So let's get back to this scene. What is she wearing? Is she not wearing red? Is the movie not called Babylon? Nellie Leroy's character is not just representing a character trying to become famous in Hollywood. Nellie Leroy's character is symbolizing the Hollywood system itself. She is Hollywood in this movie. You've got to decode the layers, these levels to insight and revelation, right? So she is Hollywood. Her character is Hollywood. Let's go back and let's watch again because I'm going to break down what we're looking at in this scene. There's so many things happening in this scene, and I'm going to break it down. So let's go back. So first thing you notice, check it out. So she's wearing red, just like it said in the book of Revelation. Pay attention. Now, behind her, over her left shoulder, you see that there is a red umbrella, double umbrella over her left shoulder. That red umbrella represents a specific culture or government. Now, what I'm about to say is going to be blanked out. If you want to see the uncensored version of these episodes, you can go to the Patreon. That red umbrella represents all right. Now remember, this woman was sitting on a red beast, on a scarlet beast. Beast means government or system. That's what it translates to. A beast in the book of Revelation represents a government or a system. Okay? She was sitting on a red beast, but what's over her left shoulder is the representation of. Pay attention. Also, what you see over her right shoulder is something that looks like Dracula. Pay attention. It said in the book of Revelation that she had a cup with the blood of God's people. Right? I'm not talking about religion. I'm here to awaken the Messiah people. I'm here to awaken the Christ consciousness in the Messiah people. So I'm not talking about religion. I'm not talking about any religion. I'm talking about spirituality, right? So it says she has a cup with the blood of God's people. Over her right shoulder, you see Dracula, a Dracula head in the background, right? It has a Dracula head in the background. Pay attention to the symbolism. These are things that are happening. So understand, she represents Hollywood. This is what's behind. Look at what's behind Hollywood. See, if you're not, you got to be connected. You got to have the spirit to show you and give you the eyes to see what's happening. They're telling you the story right in front of your face, but most of us can't see it, right? So pay attention. The book of Revelation says she's sitting on a scarlet beast, a red beast, which represents a system. Now understand, pay attention to what I'm telling you. and another symbol of Dracula in the background. She is Hollywood. It's showing you what's behind Hollywood. Now, listen, they set this movie in 1920, but it's talking about what's happening now. Pay attention. They did not promote this movie for a reason. Pay attention. Boom. What's that in the upper right-hand corner? It's a green person. It's like green, humanoid, right? Now, and I have in my content where I decoded a possible message of a post from DJ Khaled. I broke down the symbolism of this NFT project where it has the different shoes that have these specific names that is actually a word key. It had reptile, it had clone, it had human, it had all robot, it had all these specific names, very specific, right? But this you would normally miss because it happens so fast. That's a green person back there, like the color of a reptile. No, that's not the Hulk. That's not the Hulk. Let's go back. Let's see if we can get a clear picture. Boom, boom. See that? Now you wouldn't pay any attention to that because there's so much going on. You would miss this. So what we notice already is that we have representation of things that is attracted to blood. She's wearing the scarlet dress, just like I said in the book of Revelation. She's wearing the scarlet dress, right? And she is the Nellie Leroy character is representing Hollywood at the same time. And you're seeing what's behind Hollywood or what Hollywood is sitting on. It said in the book of Revelation that she's sitting on a scarlet or red beast. She's wearing red. The movie's called Babylon. It said in the scripture, it says that it was a mysterious message on her or words on her forehead that said Babylon, Babylon the Great, right? The mother of prostitutes and abominations of the earth. This is not about a husband and a wife. This is about the anti-Christ consciousness versus Christ consciousness. This is about the original consciousness versus artificial consciousness. This is about the original intelligence versus artificial intelligence. This is about the original human body versus artificial human body, right? But I won't go too deep into that right now. The point is that they're symbolizing everything I read to you in this text. In this party, you would miss it. And notice that there's a green reptilian colored person back there, the head, right? Nothing Hollywood does is on accident. You got to pay attention. See that? There he is. This shot is not on accident either. The indigenous man here, the indigenous man being in the same shot as that green character is not on accident. But I don't have time to go into that in this actual episode. Let's keep rocking. Guys, you can see they lift Hollywood. They're worshiping Hollywood there. You see that? You see that? Okay. Now, worship means to obey. So I'm not talking about some religious stuff. It means that Hollywood has gotten into the spirit, the mind of the people. But at this party, she becomes, it's ceremonial. And she represents Hollywood. All right. So let's go into this next scene.